No, okay, yeah, you do have to walk out onto the bridge. So,
Oh wait, don't you want to talk to Solaire?
I am going to talk to Slayer, but first I'm going to demonstrate this. So, this is a little cheap. Um, if you look at the ground, you'll notice that the ground is a little charred and blackened out there, um, giving you some indication that there might be some kind of fire-breathing lizard nearby, and you don't want to go running out there. Most people aren't going to notice that, and I fully admit that this definitely happened to me the first time I
This
ran
will
out onto
kill
this
you and take
bridge.
your first boss
It will
souls.
kill you, take your first boss souls, and this is probably why a lot of people think Dark Souls is very difficult and that it's kind of cheap and unforgiving because you just beat a boss. There is a bonfire close by, but you have to go across this bridge to get it. And if you just run out there, you will die, lose your souls, and have to fight your way back to get to your souls, which is doable, but you may lose them. What you want to do, run out a little bit and then immediately run back, and let's see if we can catch him. There he is.
I
And
would run more.
yeah, and he will completely light up the bridge on fire. That fire will
One
one
shot, yeah.
shot you, and
It,
if not, you'll be stunned, and he'll probably breathe fire on you again.
yeah, in early game, that is a one shot. If you are later game, you might be able to tank it. Well, no, later game you can definitely tank it with the right setup.
All right, let's talk to Solaire, another one of my favorite NPCs in
Ah,
this game.
hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. Do you find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time. Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment. The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey? This pleases me greatly. Well then, take this. We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
So that's a very important co-op item that he just gave us there. The white summon sign soapstone, if you were paying attention, is how you put your summon signature down, and it's how you get summoned to other players' worlds. Basically, you just use the item, it scrawls your name or whatever on the ground, and in other players' game worlds, they'll see it and be able to summon you to their game world.
For those of you playing offline, there are NPCs that you can summon to help. Some of them actually can affect their quest lines, or is that later games?
With oh, if you summon, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you can summon Solaire. This also lets you unlock summoning Solaire. um you don't use the white summon side soapstone
No, but
to
you
summon him, but
use summon signals.
yeah.
You can, by the way, as we said before, you can only use these while human.
Yeah, yes, you won't even see summon signs if you're not human. But yeah, that's the most important co-op item in the game, probably.
Followed closely by the black separation crystal to get rid of other people and to get yourself out.
And there was also a little note about like the lore in there. If you're paying attention, he kind of tells you like time in Lordran is convoluted, centuries, like heroes phase in and out, centuries old and whatnot. It's basically the explanation for why all of these players can shift into each other's worlds and whatnot,
It also
because
explains how
time is just weird.
Tarkus works.
Black Iron Tarkus?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's another NPC that's much like from a much older time that you can summon to help you with a boss later, and he's from like hundreds of years ago, and you're like,
You can actually
how can
find
I summon this guy into my world?
You can find his dead body.
Yeah, that's another cool lore thing.
Yeah, you actually can find out exactly how he died, and he helped a lot.
Gaze at the sun. The sun is a wondrous body, like a magnificent father. If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
Yeah, that line right there is why I love Solaire.
Solaire is probably at least 90% of players' favorite character. That is a made-up estimate, and it's still probably right.
Oh, we don't have the praise the sun gesture. We have to join his covenant. That's unfortunate.
Which is right through those doors.
So instead, I guess we'll just bow to you, Solaire. Great sun, bro. All right, you. I don't like you, so I'm just gonna run by you. And by run by you, I mean run halfway across this bridge, and oh cool, stairs to my right. And we could go under the bridge that way if we wanted to, or down and control so as not to fall down. Kick the ladder. And, oh hey, cool. A bonfire that we already lit earlier. And we're back out here. In the Undead Burg. And all these enemies are dead because we walked through and killed them. Alright, so...
Level up time.
Level up time. And I guess I'll get the stats to
Yeah.
wield the claymore. So strength is 16. I believe it's... Is it 10 or 12?
I do not remember. You can just go 12. Dex isn't that bad of a stat. What I'm going to say is, normally most things that scale in strength will have a minor one in Dex. It's not the greatest, but it's just the melee weapon stats will sometimes help each other.
Yeah, and honestly, Claymore is what's referred to by the Dark Souls community as a quality weapon. So that means it kind of scales equally well with strength and dex. I believe its scaling is CC, and I think that's the highest it gets. So it's a weapon that benefits from you kind of equally leveling up strength and dexterity. So this is what I was kind of talking about earlier. You can come out onto this bridge, shoot at that dragon's tail, and eventually he'll drop a very powerful early game sword.
In this case, it's not so much a drop as in the drops on the ground as normal, as you will just collect it automatically.
Yeah, it just pops up into your inventory.
Are you going to run through the top?
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. I 100% prefer this method for getting across the bridge because the bottom of the bridge is so annoying to deal with. And I guess I'll show a little bit of it later. Basically, you wait in this corner for a little bit, and as long as I don't screw up when he comes out. Here we go. Alright. Oh, shit. Yeah, I screwed up. Okay.
So that's death.
Usually you can run under his legs or around him. I may try and run around him next time, but you can run by him and get to that room that he was guarding the other side of the bridge.
And for people who don't have skill, patience to do that, there is a separate way. But
That's much harder to fight through.
No, I'm talking about if you want to just get rid of the dragon entirely. So.
Oh, like, okay, no,
you
yeah.
can straight cheese the dragon right out of existence. So, I think they may have patched it. I'm not positive. But at least at one time, there is a place where you can see the dragon. It's actually one of those up there, and you can shoot the dragon once, and the dragon will fly up and eventually just straight die.
Oh,
It was
really?
a glitch. They eventually, I think they patched it at this point. But if you play the original game without patches or anything, or without ever updating it, I believe you can still pull it off.
Let's see if we can do this better this time. There we go.
So this is how most people do it. Some people go through the bottom. It's honestly probably preferable to go this way. If you go the other way, you're just gonna probably kill some rats. I think that's the only major change.
Still up there? Did he fly away? Usually he flies away, right?
I think he flew away, but I'm not.
Yeah, he's flying
Where
off.
does
Looks like he
go?
flew away.
I don't.
He goes off into the distance. You can reset him. I think if you like quit the game and reload the area, he might pop back up on the bridge, or if you just approach the area again. But for now, he's gone, and we want to get one of my favorite weapons. There we go. Backstep the shit out of you. Starting to get a little bit of a feel for the Xbox controller.
So hard.
I don't know about that. I will stubbornly, till the day that I die, defend PlayStation controllers over Xbox controllers.
I second that, but I never got my PlayStation controller. This thing.
And voila. Alright. So let's solve Nameless Soldier. And the Claymore. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what the... I think it was 1610. It was 1610. Okay. So now we got this little baby. This is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's just got a very versatile moveset. And that's another thing that I think is really cool about the weapon system in general in this game, is just how varied the movesets are on the weapons, and you can kind of play through the game with a very different feel depending on what weapon that you're using. So the Claymore's standard R1 swings are just these very broad swings that are honestly fairly quick for a sword of its size. Very good, useful for dealing with like crowds of enemies in front of you. What makes it really good though is this baby. That R2 poke is just really useful. It's got a lot of range, as you can see, and you can just use it in hallways or just when you're fighting enemies to fight them kind of at medium range, and just a generally all around very useful move. These are just the standard R1 swings when you're two-handing. Let's do some big R2s.
You got your vertical, you got your horizontal.
Leaping attack. Step back attack. And yeah, that's the Claymore.
For most people,
And
this
there's
can
running
get you through
attacks.
most of the game. You're gonna probably upgrade it, but this weapon also will get you through most of the game.
There we go. Bam. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised it's not one-hitting things.
Well, I mean, you can always upgrade it. Well, not yet, but you get there.
Alright. We rested at this bonfire. I would probably have a... Yeah, I have enough for a level up.
Just 20.
Yeah, let's get endurance up to 20 first. And now you can unravel this ladder. Or ladder.
Doesn't
What am
look
I
like a
saying?
ladder.
That's not a ladder. That lever lets you pull up that gate. I know words.
Second Dark Knight or clearing the area?
No.
Humanity for killing that boss.
No,
Died. What'd
he
you get
actually
humanity
got
for?
humanity. Okay, so one of the things that will happen, which you normally don't recognize unless you've been paying a lot of attention, is enemies actually have a random counter towards getting humanity that you get when you kill things.
So you
So he
things
killed
get
enough
humanity.
things, and he just got a humanity for it.
Yep.
It's very... I don't want to say it's very rare, but it's not gonna happen often enough. It's not something to bank on.
Well, I mean, like if you're farming an area for stuff, you'll notice it. It only happens when the boss in the area is still there. So if you kill the boss and you can kill as many enemies as you want, your humanity counter will not increase.
That went up after you killed.
The one? No, I believe
No,
it went
yeah,
up
he had it
before. I had it
beforehand.
before I fought the Taurus.
But you died.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you
I
get to back off.
so
Oh, you reclaimed
yeah,
it with the reclaim.
you do
Yeah, yeah.
lose the humanity and the soul. You lose the humanity as well and the soul. So that's actually good that you asked that question. You lose the humanity when you die, and I repicked it back up when I picked up my souls.
But you being human goes away.
Yes, and you being human will go away, and you'll have to spend
if you
another
go in
humanity
there
point.
and you go up, you get to fight your second Black Knight.
Yeah.
Are you going to?
I don't know. I want to show. I'm not gonna
There's
go
just rats down there.
all the way down here, but basically this was the alternate route across the bridge. It's a kind of an annoying room.
There's 2 rats, and on that bridge over there, there were 2 more knights.
Yeah, and it just because of the way the level is designed, it's a very narrow passage over there, and it's a very narrow space to fight. And I got this guy's attention, and the rats can poison you, so that's just another thing that's kind of annoying. Very unfun area. I guess we'll go fight this guy.
Feeling lucky.
I'm not feeling lucky. This guy is way more difficult than
Yeah.
than the other Black Knight.
Black Knights in general aren't going to be easy.
Well, this guy, like, if you had space to fight him, he'd be better because you'd
But he
dodge his
stays.
attacks better. And he's already noticed me. Let's try and make use of the Claymore poke, see if we can fight him on the stairs. Hopefully use the... Yeah, we can use the height difference to take...
So she'll notice he's tall.
Ooh, he does a lot of
And
damage.
you're on the floor. Will he follow you all the way down? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you just go back into the open?
Oh, shit.
Because that ain't working.
Oh, it's so the height differential. It doesn't matter if I'm blocking with my shield. Ah, shit. Try and use his pathing against him. Okay, let's try and fight him in the bonfire area, maybe. That's like a little bit better of a spot to fight him.
Not ideal, but it's better than nothing.
Oh, so it looks like he does leash. Oh, nope, maybe spoke too soon.
He leashes slightly.
Yeah, I'm glowing because of the ring. Oh, I guess that... I had my shield up, right?
Yeah, no, I think he hit you, right?
I guess he can overhead hit you. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that, but yeah, he kind of kicked my ship. Let's try him again.
Get your souls.
There they are. Yeah, I was like, they should be around here
Souls
somewhere.
your souls are not exactly where you died. They're a few steps back in case you jumped off a cliff or something.
Oh, let's fight this guy.
Notice, simple guys, big guy.
Yeah, size can be an indication
Yeah.
to how difficult an enemy is.
For people who've played mainly JRPGs, this is true. But you see a big enemy, you're like, oh, that's gonna be hard, and then you give it a few shots and it just dies like everything else. This, if it's 10 stories tall, it's gonna probably hurt like a 10-story tall building falling on you. Nothing pulls its punches. Big guys hurt, small guys hurt. Everything wants you dead.
Oh, alright.
It's through shield.
Oh, he got me.
So, as you're noticing, this is not an easy fight.
But you get all your souls back when you retrieve, right?
Yes.
But if you die before you get to them, they're all gone.
So you only lose permanently if you die twice before reaching your souls.
Yeah. That's also why this is thought of as a very unforgiving game. If you just straight lost it, then oh well, it's gone. But the fact that you had a shot to get them back and you still miss it is what drives some people crazy.
Alright, so
Especially when you can see it.
I'm gonna fight him one more time. If I lose to him, I can't be blocking to recover my souls. Oh,
And death.
nope.
I made it.
Well done.
If
Is he gonna kite?
you know what, I'm gonna reset.
Let's try again. That one doesn't count.
Yeah, wasted that Estus, but whatever. Oh, and I need to. You know what? Let's try this. Oh, that did not kill him. Oh, it was not right range. There we go. And whatever, I'll top myself off. And I'm gonna
Grab
try
your
and
souls
just
too.
draw him to the
Well, he has all the souls.
bonfire.
Oh, right, you didn't die.
What's that?
Oh, he died when he jumped off.
Oh.
That
Come on.
happened 2
Gonna try
seconds
to
ago.
climb all the way down.
Ooh, I did not mean to do that.
Ah,
Oh,
Works,
it
man.
worked
It's
out.
fine. No issue there.
Alright. A chaotic place to fight him in general. That was a poorly timed attack.
So what's your favorite boss in this game?
we're seeing Smog.
Yeah, Ornstein and Smaz, a really fun boss fight.
It's just a... so, reason why. Orsi and Smog is two enemies, and they're complete opposites, and together they make arguably one of the hardest bosses in this game, especially for when you're fighting them.
Fight them pretty early, right?
They are
No,
the,
they're
the
mid-game.
exact midpoint of the game,
Oh.
at least in my opinion.
Nah, alright. So, today it looks like we're not gonna beat that Black Knight. Yeah, Ornstein and Small are like pretty much at the exact midpoint. One of them is, as Carl was saying, is very, very fast and kind of relentlessly pursues you. The other one is kind of a tub of lard and just hits very hard. And it's just a fun, challenging boss fight together. There's other bosses that I really like for various reasons. Sif, Great Gray Wolf is a really fun one, mostly because of the emotional impact he has.
Oh god, dude, it gets worse. You didn't do DLC, did you?
Infinite Sads.
So one of the Sif is a boss you fight, and when you find out the lore behind him, you hate yourself for killing him. But you can actually summon him as an ally in the final boss of the
against
DLC,
Mass, right, yeah.
and he is the only summon in the game that is in the boss room.
Boom.
But that is one of the most memorable fights you will have. If you pay attention to the lore, it is probably one of the most depressing fights in the game. I also like, once again, another DLC boss, but Arturius is just... that is a fight.
I'm gonna try and do something. Oh, he already closed it. Alright, I'm not gonna do that. Let me get behind this guy.
I think to beat this game.
Depends how good you are.
Yeah, really. That answer really depends.
What's your average playthrough? For, let's say a second time through.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
Not New Game Plus, but like
Like,
you've played it once
knowing-
before, you know what you're doing. I think.
I'm really a bad indicator. Because I usually take my sweet ass time with this game and just kind of like I usually play with like the wiki page open, look up how to get to different weapons and stuff like that. So
and the DLC, if it's your first time through, is going to be an insane another chug. But what I'm going to say is, at least from my estimate, if for a person who's not the greatest at video games, first time through might take you upwards of 60 if you need a grind.
I think it just took me that naturally. But I mean, like I said, I
It's
play
probably
slow.
going to take you around 60, either if you're slow, if you grind, if you try to do everything.
Alright, this guy is
60.
little encouragement.
If you're fast and second playthrough, I don't know myself because I did two completely different styles, so I couldn't go. Well, I've always done different styles, but I'm not a good indicator. My friend was able to do it in 35 to 40 hours.
Yeah, that
doing
sounds
everything.
about right. I mean,
That's for you're not the greatest at this game. You're not speedrunning it, but you've done it once before. You know the tricks. You know all the stuff, and you're still just trying to have fun with it.
yeah, that sounds right.
Spamming the fire against this one.
What'd you say for first time through?
Probably like
about
60 to
60.
70
Okay.
hours,
Probably 60 to
something like that.
That's with that is your first time through, not knowing stuff. First time through.
Alright,
It's
so
a lot of playtime.
I'm
It's a
kinda
long
gonna
game.
It is a-
cheese this boar a
Excuse me,
little bit.
Roaring Skull.
He's very annoying to fight head on. So you notice the entire front of him is armored. His butt is available for poking, but you kind of have to get around him, do a lot of positioning games.
If
This
you
is a
want-
much
yeah.
easier way to deal with him. You picked up these alluring skull items, and that's like another typical thing in Souls games. They'll usually put an item in an area where it's useful.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, so if you're paying attention to the items, you might notice, oh, like, hey, these, and read the item description. You'll notice that throw to shatter and spread souls to attract certain types of enemies.
Guessing this is one of those types.
So this is one of those types, and you can throw the skull down there in the fire, and he'll kind of be like, hey, what's going on there? And run into the fire and start taking damage. Hopefully he'll go around for another pass. And he kind of runs off, and eventually he'll come back, and you can kind of rinse, repeat. I believe you can also falling attack him.
If you're really ballsy, or if you ran out of skulls, you can literally stand behind the fire and have him charge into you and hit the fire first, and you just have to get out of the way. It's far more risky. This is the safe and preferred method. But if you are in an extreme pinch, if for some reason you run out of the items, you can do that.
This enemy also does not respawn, so usually, like, if you've cleared all the other enemies and you take your time, you stand where I'm standing.
That's the other thing. Certain enemies, I don't want to call them mid-bosses, but that's probably the closest to what they are.
Yeah, like
They do not
mini-bosses.
respawn.
And
Yeah, mini-bosses will not respawn. The knights will not respawn. He didn't drop his helmet.
nah, sometimes he does drop a helmet. It's pretty useful.
Pretty heavy, but
I
it's...
collected all of the items up there. If you're really quick, you can run through this area, and this gate is usually open. And this jerk here, actually, he runs back here to lock, pull a lever and lock this gate. I wasn't quick about it this time, so
It just
we're gonna have
skips
to
a
do this the
good
normal way,
chunk of your life.
which is to come through here. These
And-
guys run back. So if you'll notice, like, these enemies ran away, and if you're paying attention, you'll be like, huh, like, that's a little weird
That's
that
abnormal.
they ran away. And there's an ambush.
If something's too good to be true, or too convenient, it's probably a trap.
Alright. Oh, and I missed, actually, that one, too. But you'll note the claymore there, very useful. It was doing damage to all of them. And then this poke is just good on the straightaway.
Straightaway stairs.
Hey, you will be fighting on stairs. Stairs are your friend, given the situation.
Stairs,
Stairs can be
corners,
your friend.
corners are really your friend in
Corners
this
are your
game.
best friend.
You really can cheat a lot of the enemy's pathings. Like, if you're trying to, like, manufacture a window to heal, and these enemies are chasing you this way, what you can kind of do is, like, run around, hug this corner really tight, and, like, enemies don't have the same ability as you, a human player, to kind of, like, run around and do this sort of smoothly. They kind of, like, come here and then they'll reset, and, like, their pathing will go that way. They do it in stages, basically.
As a general warning, you cannot hit through walls, but sometimes you can chip it.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's not recommended, but for more skilled players that know exactly what they're doing, they can get away with it.
Oh, shit.
Mind. Saw it underneath your bar. And
Yeah, that icon is the Tearstone ring. I thought I got both of them with that hit. Oh, my Estus is not too powerful right now.
Yes, that's another thing you'll notice. Estus, it does a set amount of heals.
Ah, damn it.
But there are ways to improve it through items, some of which are slightly more controversial to get.
got 5 of that bonfire because it wasn't kindled, right?
Correct, yeah. Well, the other thing I was, maybe you might have touched on it, is just you can upgrade your Estus and have it heal more, increase its efficacy.
But it's,
Oh, right, these tables don't break when you roll.
I'm gonna say this, yes, you can get it, and if when you get the first item, you'll figure out a quick way to get more, it's not always worth it.
Oh, white light, there might be a boss. but in this case,
White light was different than fog. Or no, they're the same thing. Say a different thing.
I think they say traverse the white fog, white light. They might be different, but they're functionally the same thing. I think that might be there for PvP purposes too.
Yeah.
Like that might be a barrier that prevents you from
So
going
the
back.
thing about PvP is when PvP starts, you're actually in walled off sections. You can't just run infinitely away. There are set areas that you are allowed in.
Vanity.
Yeah. Same way as before, just from kills. We haven't killed the boss of this area yet.
This area is separate from the other area with the Taurus demon.
Correct. Yeah. So as soon as you cross the bridge, you actually, like, if you notice, like, there was writing that appeared on the screen. It said, like, Undead Parish. This is a separate area. The place where we fought the Taurus demon is called the Undead Burg.
Is that understandable?
All right.
Normally when it says a name of a new place, that's a new place.
Yeah, it's an indication that it's a different, like, that's going to be a walled-off area.
Yeah,
for
I think I missed the
PvP.
words.
Oh, shit. I was planning on kicking him, but then he attacked.
Class?
Starting class?
Yep. We banned it this time.
So, the first time I played through this game, and usually all Souls games, I generally pick the Wanderer class. I like to dodge and roll around and be, like, super quick, and I just like dex weapons. I wouldn't say, like, so, like we were kind of saying, though, like, the classes are just initial stat allocations, so they may engender oneself towards a certain playstyle to start off with, but they're not, like, you can take any class and turn it into anything. Like, you could start with the Wanderer and turn it into a mage. You could start with the, oh, shit.
You can start with the Deprived and not suck.
There we go. Alright. Alright, so in that situation, like, a lot of people might just panic, oh shit, like, I'm in the corner, these enemies have pinned me.
Shield up, roll.
Yeah, you just shield up, try and wait for a window, manufacture a window to roll. Sometimes you may not get out, but above all, just try not to panic, because then you certainly won't have a window to get out.
So I talked before about
Estus.
Estus. These enemies will use Estus. They will use Estus frequently when given the opportunity.
They have a limit on Estus?
I do not know.
There we go.
The objective is to not let them use it, not to test how many they have.
Yeah, no, they don't have a limit. They'll heal infinitely. There we go. And they also drop. They got the Baldur's Shield. Is a nice shield.
Current one.
I don't. I believe it might have better stability. Let's see.
Some better stats.
63. Yeah, so it has better. The blue's better. The red's worse. It's got better lightning resistance. Stability is how much stamina gets taken away per hit. So generally, like, the higher your stability is on a shield, the less stamina gets taken away on your stamina bar each time an enemy hits. So the Baldur shield here, it weighs a little bit more, but it has 7 better stability. It's actually fairly significant. So you'll see a difference in the amount of stamina that's being reduced each time an enemy hits your bar. I think for now.
It's
Oh, whoops.
shield.
Yeah, I didn't want to rock that guy. I may try him out for a little bit.
different shield. Another thing I noticed is for parries, different shields have different parry animations, different parry windows.
Yeah.
Shields of the same weight and size category are normally similar, but like big shields you can't even parry with. Tower shields cannot be. You cannot.
Yeah,
parry with them.
great shields generally have like a punch forward attack with them you can't parry. Both the Baldur side shield, the Knight shield, and the Spider shield, which is what Bandit starts the game with, are all medium weight shields. They have medium parry speed. Oh, there we go.
Oh, and to answer Plaza's question from earlier about favorite starting class, I actually try to pick a different one each time I play. I've played through this 3 times. I've done a dex-based character, a strength-based character, and an int-based.
What'd you say?
Are you gonna open the gate?
Oh, I am gonna open the gate. Yeah, I wanted to run up here and grab this item.
That helper was my best friend my first run through.
But yeah, now the gate is open.
So the next time you come through, if we were to die before getting to the next bonfire,
You can kind of just run through here.
And the still.
Yeah, the important thing is the boar will be dead. The boar can outrun you quite easily, as you saw.
he will outrun you.
He will easily outrun you and chase you down. Oh,
And you
this
kite it.
guy's fighting me now. Oh, shoot. These buttons are a little unresponsive. There we go. So I'm not going to go into the temple.
Gone to a place where you could have, I'm pretty sure you have online players joining your world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second you got the
Invade-
soapstone, it's open.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So for a while.
Yeah.
You're not human though.
Yeah, they
so-
can invade
not
you in the
human.
they can invade you in the burg, and they can certainly invade you here.
you-
This is usually
can
the
they
first
invade you
area
at
where people
Firelink?
start invading. I
I don't know.
don't know actually. Yeah, that is a good question.
You might be able to be invading
So
Firelink for all
I
know.
actually, when I played this game for the first time, I played completely offline.
Yeah,
So
same here.
and a lot of subsequent playthroughs, I've played through offline. Not because I wanted to, kind of because I was forced to where I was.
I did at college, and they wouldn't let us
So
hook
I-
up things to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I actually don't know a lot about this game's online community. I know a little bit more about Dark Souls 2 because I was in an area where I could play that game online a lot better. So that's actually a gap in my knowledge with this game is online.
Well, for me, I actually started playing this game about a month before Dark Souls 2 came out, because my friend's like, no, you'd love this game, you gotta play it. And I ended up marathoning this over the course of a month, and then marathon Dark Souls 2 the following month.
So this may be risky. We have no heals.
It's okay, just go to this fire.
Well, I kind of want to just fight him before I go to the fire because I don't have to.
He's
refight
another
these enemies.
mid-boss, he will not respawn if we manage to kill him.
I believe he's also a guaranteed large Titanite shard drop, which is nice.
So, yeah.
So yeah, he hit me, I dropped my shield, run around him. And with each swing
can
of
you
his
back attack him?
mace. No, so you can't. This guy's kind of weird. You can't backstab him. You can parry his attack, but you can't don't have a critical window. So you can parry that mace swing, but it's pointless. Like, it just gives you a window to attack him, but not a window where you can do critical damage. He's probably gonna try and heal sometime soon. Wow, that shield took a lot.
Does he run to heal or does he just
Yo,
standing where he is?
It depends on the AI. Yeah, like sometimes they usually try and like back off. Like if you give him a little bit of space, he'll probably try and heal. That was obviously not enough. Oh shoot. I'm gonna wait to recover.
That was kind of risky.
Yeah, it was. I was getting a little impatient. So yeah, see, like his shield's up. He's trying to back away and gain some space.
Given the opportunity,
We could
he
probably
will
do
heal.
this dance for a little while. There we go. He was trying to heal right there too, because he's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna die."
Oh shit, I'm gonna die.
I guess it's not
That
a.
was not
It's a
large.
guaranteed Titanite shard drop, not a large Titanite shard.
So should we show the next bonfire or go and get?
Well, I'm gonna
this
grab the
bonfire?
Firekeeper's soul first.
Yeah. So as we mentioned before, you can improve your Estus flask through Firekeeper souls, and you will meet Firekeepers that are alive. So, as we've already discussed, you can kill anything in this game. So you could technically kill a Firekeeper to get their soul. The downside is you lose their bonfire. It is gone.
Yeah, it's just is a pretty big downside considering the placements of the Firekeepers that you
For example,
can kill.
you can lose Firelink Shrine. You're going back to Firelink Shrine a lot. That's a bad one to use.
Yeah, it's the central hub of the game. You really don't want to lose it. There's there's actually a story event
That
where you
kills
where you
Happened
lose the
today.
bonfire.
Happened to me.
Yeah, and you can get it back, but you'll be without the bonfire for a portion of time.
And you'll just want to murder the person who did it, and then you will in fact murder the person who did it.
Still gonna get some.
Just no HP.
You don't
Dodge.
really, yeah. Like I don't like when you're decent. Like you don't need HP as much. It's not as important. So like it keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
Things can actually kill me now.
That's fair.
If I just keep leveling up vitality, it's not gonna. I won't be on my toes as much.
Well, I've seen people do builds where they buff the hell out of HP. I've seen people do it where they have no HP.
You know what?
It's all about
Alright.
what you want.
We're gonna keep
But everyone needs endurance.
getting endurance. It'll let us equip more
You can go
stuff.
probably downstairs and upgrade.
Yes,
think
that's-
it only costs one for the first time? Or is it two the first time?
That'd be 200.
No, I mean one Titanite shard.
Oh, one Titanite shard. It costs to upgrade. Absolutely, yeah.
I'm Andre, a restorer. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
So, this is the blacksmith. Honestly, if you talk to him, he gives you a lot of direction about like where you're supposed to go, who's gonna fight you, and whatnot. We picked up a longsword.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember that. Let's upgrade. We did start with the bandit. Do you want to go back to the axe maybe a little bit, or?
Claymore is probably one of the best weapons early on, so I'd say Claymore is not a bad call, but it depends what you plan on running. This is your play. What's your end game?
I don't know. I don't honestly like. So I've played with the claymore and I've played with the longsword so many times. I'm kind of in the
Hopefully
mood
they
to
do
try,
that.
yeah, try something a little bit different. Go with like a more traditional, or not more traditional, but just like more of a strength-based run.
Okay, are you gonna kill what's behind that wall, or you don't have an hour?
Oh,
Down
the
there.
demon that's down there?
Yeah.
No, thank you. Not just yet.
Needed it.
So basically, I'm giving a bunch of bad advice. There are enemies there's an enemy down there. It will probably kill you.
I'll be seeing you, be careful.
How many hours total do you think you have in this game?
Me? Well, let's see. My first playthrough was like 60, 70. I never actually completed the game a second time because I have massive character ADD and just like keep making new characters. Jeez. Probably like 200 hours, I'd say, maybe all told.
I'm probably around 180.
Yeah, something like that.
About in the Soul series?
Oh god.
Any idea?
Easily 500.
Yeah.
Do you wait? Are
Probably
we counting
similar.
Bloodborne?
Yes.
Easily 500.
Bloodborne, I
did-
don't think I have that much time, and I
Okay,
probably
I've
only
done-
have like 40 hours or
I've
so in
done Dark
Bloodborne.
Souls once 3 times all the way through. Demon Souls once. Dark Souls 2 twice, and Bloodborne once.
I've
So,
spent the most time in Dark Souls 2 out of
see, I
any
would
of those
have, but I'm
games,
an
so.
arachnophobic, so I can't even do one entire zone. And until they did the upgrade, until they did the DLC, I couldn't progress past a certain point. And I actually can never do the final boss in that game, as a result.
You don't like Nishandra?
No, not Nishandra. The DLC final
I've
boss.
never done any of the
Oh,
DLC for
okay.
Dark Souls 2, so I wouldn't know.
So in the DLC, there is... So, okay, I'll talk about the DLCs of these games. So this game has a DLC. It's called Prepare to Die if you get in the thing. It's also called Arteria of the Abyss. Basically, you get an Arteria plotline. It throws you into the past, and you get to see the events of Knight Arteria, who is mentioned a lot and is significant to the lore. And you also get to fight Manus, the Father of the Abyss, who is also the Furta Pygmy, who was mentioned in the intro. Otherwise, you just know nothing about him. It's kind of depressing, actually. In Dark Souls 2, you get the Three Kings expansion and Scholar of the First Sin. So the three kings give 3 bonus entire air zones, each with, I believe, 3 bosses. Really fun, really hard, but they also give a lot of plot about what the Balance of Light and Dark does, and you get a bonus boss at the very end, if you talk to him all 3 times. Fortunately, the first trigger for him is after you cleared the 4th of the 4th Great Soul, I think is what they refer to it. I don't want to give spoilers. Unfortunately, I'm arachnophobic, so I can't do one of the areas. So I can't talk to him, so I can't get his fight.
Gotcha.
Well, you need any...
Very depressing.
So what I've been doing, I was just purchasing Titanite shards or upgrade materials. The best way to increase damage on your weapon is not to upgrade your stats, which is why I recommend just like getting your stat requirements first to the weapon equip requirements, so you can equip and use whatever weapon you want to use. But then the best way to upgrade damage is to actually upgrade the weapon itself. You get a lot more damage from and value just from doing it that way, which is why your stats early on are better spent on things like endurance and like vitality, just to get your character's general durability and your ability to perform actions, like your stamina. Is there anything else I really wanted to do with Andre? I don't really want to sit here and go through his dialogues.
You don't really... You can also upgrade if you are willing to grind. You can also upgrade your armor. So it takes hits better. You can upgrade your shield. You can upgrade just about anything you can equip that isn't usable items. And they will improve its stats, but it's gonna be a grind most likely.
So what's better with the spider shield that you switch back to it?
It's just lighter and honestly more of an aesthetic choice. I kind of like the look of the bandit set. I don't really like the look of the Baldur shield. It's kind of like a weird thing. I didn't think it also like really mixed well with the robes that I'm kind of wearing.
So you'll notice there are clearly armor sets that go together, but there's no, other than for the aesthetic point, there is no benefit to using a full set. But a lot of people will because it looks nice.
You can also notice the axe is doing way more damage now. Like that jumping attack is now doing 200 damage. I think it's doing like
axes have
120s.
some of the highest like damage per hit. They're not very fast. They don't have the best range. When they hit,
That's
it
unlocked.
hurts.
Oh, actually, you know what? I do want to take
Go
this.
down,
I
get
do want to take this.
Tanestus.
Yeah, we'll get Tanestus and also get my Estus Flask upgraded.
There.
So, if you'll notice, back where we are. Yep, this is the beginning of the game, and those are the words that pop up whenever you enter a new area. So we're back at Firelink Shrine. That was the elevator that we fell down in the beginning.
That's that.
Here's Petrus. I think he might have some new dialogues now. But I'm not really doing a lore playthrough, so I'm not really gonna.
Once again, if you want lore, Bati videos, or Epic Name Bro,
Yeah, those people definitely know way more about the lore of this game than
I think I've watched all of
You do?
Bati's videos on lore in this game and others.
But there's a Firekeeper down here.
Tongue has actually been cut off.
Because we got that Firekeeper soul in the church behind that big tower shield knight. We can give that to her, and it'll actually upgrade our Estus Flask. You'll see our Estus Flask now says Estus Flask +1. It basically just increases the potency of it. You can now heal more.
I think it eventually will cap out.
I think it's like +5, yeah, right?
I think it's +5 for the first game. I think it eventually caps out like plus.
Oh, in New Game Plus.
In New Game, I know there's a cap for the original game, and then there's a cap for New Game Plus. It will eventually cap out, but by that point, you'll have other options.
Plus, has some differences from your first playthrough. It's not just you're
Yeah.
bigger and stronger. There's actually some changes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the changes are you will get invaded by. I think there's a whole covenant that will now be able to invade you, and I know there are more invasions from enemies. if you want to get the alternate playthrough style, you can do things in completely different order, get a completely different plot line, and a different ending, actually, that you might not know about if you just did it the original way.
I know there's in Dark Souls 2, if you do New Game Plus, like there will just straight up be some different enemies.
Oh yeah, enemies
in certain areas.
Yeah. I think in this game they stay the same, but I'm not positive. Also, in New Game Plus, in case anyone is curious, you literally just start the game exactly from where the game started, but you keep everything you had, except plot-related items.
Just the character.
Was a wanderer.
Mine was, I believe I started as a knight, didn't like it too much, and ended up going more of a dex, and I did a spear shield build. I ended up in totally Ornstein's armor and weapon, but with the Arturius Great Shield.
Did you do any research or anything before you started playing this, or did you just jump right into it?
My research consisted of I had a friend who had been in the game that was with me and would give me a few tips, but he did not give me any late game planning. He didn't give me anything great. He just told me where a few hidden stuff was, and that's about it.
Yeah, so the first time I played this game, I played, like, the first actual time I sat down and played. I didn't look up anything, just was kind of playing. I definitely, it took me, like, I'd say, like, in fact, no, my first sitting, I just kind of sucked, and I died a lot. I died a lot in the Berg. I think I died, like, 5 or 6 times in that run to the Taurus Demon, and, like, I put the game down, kind of slept on it, came back the next day. And the reason, by the way, I just realized people may be wondering why I'm not running in and fighting this guy, is, like, he has this blue glowing buff, and essentially while he has that up, he does a lot more damage than he normally does. I don't know why he's glitched and is standing there. But, anyway.
Wait for it to wear off.
Yeah, so anyway, the first time I played this game, I did that. I came back, and yeah, I definitely, like, in sleeping on it, I just kind of, like, approached it with a little bit more of a calmer mindset, and I had a little bit more success. I definitely, at some point in my first playthrough, I started using the wiki extensively. It's just useful to, like, go and look up where all weapons are and stuff like that.
The only thing I use it for was what are the... Okay, so when you kill a demon, when you kill a boss, they drop their soul, with the exception, I think, of a few, like the Taros team, that just become mob bosses later. Well, you can use those souls to get special items. And you really don't know what gives what until you can make it, and that's really non-ideal. So a lot of people, and just as a general suggestion, once you find out what type of weapon you like and what kind of style you're going for, you can look up what demon soul to use and what way to upgrade to get it. I did that to get Arturius' Great Shield and the Dragon Slayer's spear, and those were a godsend for me, especially the Arturius' Great Shield. Just leaving Lautrec in jail?
No, I'm not gonna leave him in jail. Just kind of, like, wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, that's something that we're gonna suggest. It does help.
Start with Demon Souls or Dark Souls?
I start with Dark Souls.
I start with Dark Souls too. I don't, like, the wiki also, I don't use it as, like, a walkthrough for an area. Like, I like to play through the area myself without having, like, read any kind of walkthrough, so I'm sort of experiencing the game fresh. I just like to look up... I mean, this is something I do now whenever I get a new Souls game, is, like, I kind of figure out what weapon I want to use before even playing the game. So I'll do, like, a lot of research and reading and figure out, alright, I know I want to go with a dex-based character and, like, a slashy kind of sword, so I'll just look up and try to figure out what's the best katana, or what is the best curved sword, or something like that, and where is it located, and then I'll usually try and get to that first before playing the rest of the game. And then typically, like, after I've completed an area, that's when I might go onto the wiki and read a little bit of a walkthrough to see if there's any like hidden items that I missed and stuff. And I'll go back and try and find stuff. But I mean, that's just me. I don't like missing out on stuff. I like to, if especially some things in Dark Souls will just be hidden. Like you'll just be walking and there'll be this wall, and like you can hit the wall or something, and like the wall will move up. And
Disappear.
unless you want to like run around to every wall in the game whacking it like this, you're not gonna find it. Like I'd rather let someone else do that and then benefit off of their research.
So for me, actually, when I did Dark Souls 2, I had gotten it on release day. I had pre-ordered
Yeah,
it.
so a
I
lot
was-
of that's not
I was
out
thinking,
there.
well, none of that was out to the point where I couldn't find. So in that game, it has a little different setup, and there's 4 zones you can go to in the beginning. I couldn't find the 4th one. So you know how you have to pay the one person to move the one room? Because warping's allowed from the beginning of the game, I never went back. And it took me... I'd cleared every other area, killed all the other bosses that you can get to, and I still hadn't gone to that area. That's
Right,
supposed to be like
right.
the second place you go to.
Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later. Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time. I am free. Now, I can get back to work.
Yeah, so Lord Trek, not a creepy dude at all.
Yeah, 100% legit, right, guys?
Yeah.
Get hold of the track. So, there is a boss coming up.
Correct.
Are you going to Are you going to do it alive to show how that is, or
Alive? What do you mean alive?
so with
Oh, you
summoned help?
Yeah. I'm gonna summon help.
Yeah, to demonstrate how that works, what it's like. And honestly, this boss coming up that is actually would have been just ahead is the first boss where there's more than one at a time. And for people who are very new and can't really handle it, you can actually summon Solaire for that fight. And if you just run away and don't die, majority of the time Solaire can do the entire fight on his own.
Oh, I didn't know he was able to tank it that well.
I haven't personally tried it, but I actually had a friend do it, and they just ran, and I think Solaire eventually was killed, but he had taken down almost... He downed one and almost killed the other
The
one.
gargoyle, okay.
So I don't think he'll perfect it for you, but it will at least be significant enough where you don't actually need to try. I feel kind of horrible saying that, but...
I'm gonna do a couple things to prep for this fight. The reason I ran away is because in order to summon Solaire, we have to be human.
And unlike Dark Souls 2, you can only do that at a bonfire.
Yes, so do that there. I'm also going to kindle this bonfire. This is actually a fairly centrally located bonfire. I actually like to kindle it.
Any levels?
I'm actually not gonna level. So the other main reason I came down here is to upgrade my weapon as far as I can at this point.
Well, you need any...
So at this point in the game, the highest you can get a weapon is only 5. Because as you see, Titan Knight only +5 reinforcement.
I thought you already had +4.
What was it 3? It's 3 shards.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm at +4. I want to get the weapon to +5. I think I have just enough souls. Nice. To do this.
And for comparison, the standard battle axe did 95. Ours does 140 something, I believe.
Yeah, so let's show that.
Yeah.
So this
142.
Oh, whoop, there we go. Yeah, so our battle axe is doing 142. This battle axe is 95.
Is
And
the scaling better or no?
yeah, no, it is. So, it doesn't look like it's better because this just says CD and this says CD, but if you'll note, it's red. So that just means like this is a little bit stronger of a C scaling, a little bit stronger of a D scaling. It's very minor, but it does mean the scaling is a little bit better with this. And actually you can see how much it's benefiting. So the plus 18 next to the weapon is actually how much it's benefiting from stat scaling, and then the 95 is just the base damage of the weapon without any stat scaling at all. And this one is 10 points better because it's slightly better C and D scaling, and a whole lot more base damage. That's really where most of the damage though is coming from, is just the fact that we've upgraded the base damage. Alright, I didn't get any other rings or anything, right? No.
Fight the optional boss so you do not have the optional ring.
Optional boss.
Have him.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't consider him a boss, but...
I mean, he hits like one.
Yeah, no. He's just a
Fun guy.
a fun little, like, mini enemy.
Yeah, mini. Tell that to his hammer. Tooth. Blunt force object.
Yeah. It's most hilarious NPC.
Are there any other benefits of being besides the
Yes. Alright, hold on. So this is best explained with the
combat.
menu screen, yeah. So let me just kill off these dudes. So the other benefit of being human is that item discovery thing that you see over there. Oh no, actually that's not human, right? That's just when you have humanity in your counter, I believe.
Don't remember. I'll be honest. It's, like I said, it's been a while. I don't remember how it works here. I think it helps with item discovery, but I'm not positive.
Yes, I don't think so. Being human doesn't help with your item discovery, but when you do have a humanity in your counter up there, it does increase your item discovery, which is just the rate at which enemies drop things. And I think it starts experiencing pretty severe diminishing returns after like 2 points of humanity invested in it. But you will notice a bit of a difference in drop rates if you do have it up. Other than that, I don't think being human is just really the way that you interact with the online community. I think there may be certain stat bonuses. You may have like
I'm
a
not
little bit
sure.
better defense, but it's marginal.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, specifically this game, it's mainly for the invasions. But something that will be overlooked is when you get invaded by NPCs, you can actually get their items. Or some items off them if you win. And though it might not seem that significant, some of those items are kind of good. They also give humanity if you kill them, which is nice. There's an entire covenant devoted to killing things and stealing their humanity. 2. Sorry, 2.
Jeez.
One of them's the new game plus, the other one is first one.
You really have to play with your fingers like very close in to the center of the controller with these 2 bumper buttons. Sorry, that's probably the last time I'll bitch about the controller.
One thing I should probably mention, with this game, you will have covenants, which you saw, and you can do things for the covenants to improve your ranks in them. When you've ranked up enough, you'll actually get more, either better items from their vendor or just straight get items. The only problem I have with that is, at this point in the game, the online community is mainly, don't want to say cheats, but
They hack, yeah. Most
they're
of them jack.
either hackers or they're min-maxers, if you know what that term is. It's people who are as strong as humanly possible at the level they're at. And isn't
if
Trek available for this
If I
too?
go through the gate before he summons, I think the boss, Nah, I didn't start the boss fight, though. So bosses do have increased HP and defenses when you fight them with a summon. Whether it's player or NPC. What I was trying to do there is get through the gate before Solaire summons, so the boss would actually have
Lower HP.
lower HP and we could just kind of get through him. but it shouldn't really be too much of an issue, honestly, with Solaire.
The only
I just
time-
have to not be an idiot.
So you can summon NPCs like Solaire. You can also summon other players. I think it's capped at 2 at a time.
Yeah, you can only summon up to 2 people.
The only downside is if you summon someone for help and they die, or they're just bad and they're not helpful, it can really suck because then you're stuck with a boss fight that has greater HP.
So this is an example of me being stupid.
You're going for the tail.
Yeah. Alright, and now you notice the second bar popped up.
There are 2 of them. And the second one likes fire.
Yeah, see, I'm
That one's
mashing.
tail's, I think, gone.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm mashing R1 there, and oh shit, this is not going well.
Summon allied players, not other players, not NPCs. They are computer controlled. They're not actually helping at the current time.
Oh, right now, yeah. Solaire is a computer.
Yeah, Solaire's an
player.
NPC controlled by a computer. If you had summoned a regular person, like a regular other player, you control it's controlled by the other person.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of the Covenant, the heirs of the sun. Oh, actually didn't
That's
kill
the
enough,
tail.
yeah, to get the tail.
You got a weapon from it though. It's not his tail, but you'll have another opportunity to get it.
Did I get the halberd?
No, I think you got the something else.
Well, I got a helmet.
No, go. I think it was. I thought I got the winged spear or something like that.
No, the gargoyles. The gargoyles drop a gargoyle halberd. No, the
You got
wings. The
You got
spear.
something.
I got a helmet.
Oh, you did get the helmet.
Yeah, I got the gargoyle helmet, which is it's like a unique item
It's
thing.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Actually, not bad with our bandit guy. Maybe we'll rock that for a little bit. And it doesn't put us over any thresholds. Actually, no, I am.
You are over the threshold.
Yeah. So I was fast rolling before, which was nice. We'll keep that.
So that is going to be a big thing for a lot of people is how much can I get for the weight?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something wrong?
I think my hand was just like a little bit off in that fight, and that's why, like, I was hitting R1 at a lot of points, and it wasn't.
So, also as I mentioned,
Going.
well, whatever. I think for that one you got a sunlight medallion for that fight, and that is that's a Covenant item, and you got because you summoned Solaire. But it's not really for offline play. It doesn't mean much.
Can you? I know in Dark Souls 2 you give sunlight medals to the Covenant altar, and you get weapons and
You get
items.
weapons. I thought that was just to upgrade your rank in it.
No, so in Dark Souls 2, I don't know how it functions in Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 2, every time you co-op a boss with a Sunbro, it's an heir of the sun, part of that that Covenant, you get a sunlight medal, and you can give the sunlight medals to the Covenant altar, and you will get certain weapons depending on how many. I believe at 10 you get some crappy shield.
Well, yeah, no, but that's when you that's when you rank up. When you rank up, you get those, and that's how you rank up. In
Yeah,
that
but
game.
it's not an online only.
Well, no,
function.
it's not on lonely, but I mean, you can't get enough normally, because you only can summon Solaire 3 times.
Oh! I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so in this game, yes, if you do stuff for the Covenant, you'll normally get items for it. One of these Covenants, you get a blue ear. A different Covenant, you get sunlight medals. I
Right.
think one of them is solely humanity. All you get is humanity, so technically you can do that one offline. But the idea is, at least in this, if you're offline, you technically can't get enough to max out the Covenant and get the bonuses from it. Which is
Right.
kind of depressing. It makes PvP a lot more important, especially if you're trying to get nice items. There's some items I think you can only get through PvP, or at least
Yeah.
if not, then you can't do it on regular game. You have to do New Game Plus to get them. At least that's true in Dark Souls 2.
Alright, so we did miss a little bit of Oswald's dialogue there. This Oswald, the partner, let's see. You can purchase from him a couple of unique items.
That's always useful.
The Purging Stone is useful if you get cursed. There are certain enemies that curse you. You instantly die when you are cursed, and you revive with your max HP being capped at half. So your health is maximum HP is half of your HP. It's very difficult to play Dark Souls with only half of your HP.
If you play Demon Souls, you'd know that.
Yeah. So this is a useful item that you can buy from him. He has some online functions as well. Basically, if you are kind of just a general dick in Dark Souls, people will indict you, and you'll have rankings. What exactly the function of indictments? Like they
You
have a functional.
will be invaded.
Yeah, you'll be invaded more.
With this game, you'll notice that he can absolve you of, I think, sins or something. You can do specific things that increase how much of an asshole you are, pretty much. The higher that is, the more often you're going to be invaded by certain covenants. That's pretty much all it does. In Dark Souls 2, when you die, your counter goes down, but it's
in this game you use Oswald to reset the counter, basically. That's
you
what
pay him.
That's
it
what
goes
the
away.
Requesting absolution is.
You can also, I believe, through him, if you abandon a covenant, it actually counts as a sin, and you can be invaded for it.
Right.
If you abandon it through him, I believe, don't get that.
Yeah, and that's his function as the partner. Is there any other? He's got Ring of Sacrifice was an item I mentioned. You don't lose any of your souls or anything upon death, but the ring breaks. This just boosts your poison resistance, and this boosts your bleeding resistance.
Talismans for miracles, not useful to us.
Yeah, I think it's just a really good talisman. Skills A with
Int? Oh wait, no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's for spells. I don't know. I never used it.
But yeah, I think this also might be a good place to stop. If you were paying attention to the lore at all, or what the characters were saying, they told you there were 2 bells of awakening that you need to ring. One up above in the Undead Parish, which is the one that we just rung. It's the bell that most players are going to ring first. They progress through the game naturally. The gargoyles were guarding it. So yeah, this is probably a good stopping point up on this roof. The actually fairly nice vista over there. Anybody want to do any closing thoughts on the game?
Last words?
I
Yeah.
got nothing.
Start with Carl. Last words?
I got none.
None?
Isn't much more.
Great game, but
Do you
that's
have
all
any
I got.
as the I guess more of a first impressions? You have anything you wanted to add there? Plasma Purple.
Not much. Played before. It got around to this point, if anything, and very interesting. It's challenging, something you want to play and you want to get good at because it's challenging every time. And for watching this playthrough, it looks not so bad. You died a couple times, but not crazy. First time playing, you'll die a lot, and you'll see. And it's very challenging. I mentioned my first time through. I was super cautious and made it decently far for a first playthrough, and then died repeatedly over and over again, not able to get back to that same part I made it to. So it is extremely challenging, but very rewarding. A lot of fun, some great lore if you get into it. All just a very interesting and very popular game too. I think it's popular for a lot of people just because it is very well made. It's challenging and something people play. Anything
My
else?
favorite games.
Yeah, I'm just piggybacking off that. You kind of captured all the points of why I really like Dark Souls. To me, it is my favorite video game ever. This game, particularly Dark Souls 1, I think was really good. But yeah, the challenge is always enough to keep you interested. It's got kind of everything, like good PvE, good PvP community, decent lore if you're willing to explore, and it's lore, kind of like I said, that's done in a very gamey way. It's not really a way that you would
learn
do
through
it.
item descriptions and item locations.
Yeah, and like you kind of discover lore by playing the game and like looking and seeing like where certain corpses are placed, and like where those items are. Yeah, exactly.
Tarkus is a big one. He's probably the biggest indicator of that, because if you play your first time through and you don't summon help and you don't pay attention, you won't even know he exists. And for people who did summon him for help, did find where his corpse was and recognize it and who it was and how it got there, he's a relatively significant character. He is one of the reasons why your character is able to do what he does in the game.
Yeah. So those are concluding thoughts.
Are
Probably.
we going to be doing this game anymore, or is this it?
We can. That's up for debate, really. We may play this
potentially
game a
we'll
little
see.
more.
For in this format, in Showoff format, we will not be playing this again. But if we play it in a more continuous format, some parts on it, potentially. So it sounds like we're all done with this for now. That's the. And thank you, Spaghetti, and Sab Carl. And despite the technical difficulties, I think it was pretty good. So, we'll see you next time. Play something else, play this again maybe.
Jump off that cliff.
I don't know if that's how I'm gonna have our signature ending to the videos. ENB usually does like a little like backstep and attack the screen or whatever, but that's his thing.
Are you sure you don't want a you died screen?
Nah,
That is what
I don't
people
think
will
the
be
you
seeing a
died
lot.
screen is going to be what we want, especially as I lose my
Yeah,
humanity.
you do
here.
have 10,000 souls and humanity, so.
Well, I can always get
Maybe
back to my souls. It's more just like losing my human status that I'd care
Yeah,
about.
that's a loss.
But yeah, we can end it with me just running off into this doorway. How about that?
Alright. Thanks for watching.